Hello and welcome back, everybody. Slim Slam and the Bandwagon fan back on your screens or your earbuds, depending on which one you listen to us on for Week 12 NFL action. I'm Slim, he's Slam, and to my left, that is the Bandwagon fan. As always, folks, proudly brought to you by the Jersey Cartel on Facebook and, of course, JRV Electrical for all your electrical needs. Boys, how are we?
Not bad, Blaze. Happy to be in the booth. Got a big slate of games tomorrow.
Yes.
3 Friday games this week for Thanksgiving.
Special, indeed.
Love that.
So we're looking forward to previewing all that action tonight, albeit a couple of, well, I guess you wouldn't call them doozy matchups tomorrow, but, you know.
There's a few that could turn into Bastings, so we'll go from there. But, Blaze, thanks for asking how I am. I am good.
Yep, no worries, mate.
Happy to be here as always, and I'm glad you're happy to have me here.
I am always happy to have the big guy, my security blanket to the left there. You know, he makes me feel safe. It's been a thing. It's been a theme on this show for a little while now. As always, obviously, thanks to the sponsors for helping us out with the show.
Got another new one tonight.
Another new one. The Dan Marino special is back on. The humble plug on the old BTX Wordsmith during the week on the back of the Tinder Plus that you guys are running for me last week.
Yeah, and it's blowing up.
Yeah. No, the offers just are pouring in, which is...
I haven't even shown you the good ones.
Oh, well, you know, we'll get to that when we get to it. Potentially off air or a standalone special episode.
I'm running a bidding service.
Oh, yeah, great.
Can't wait to see you get based.
Yeah, I just really don't. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, folks. And
Make sure you base your turkeys.
Base your turkeys. Make sure you get that in. It's a staple of every great Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, Chicago and Detroit are going to be our first game tonight. Boys.
And thank God it's the early slate game.
Yes, it's going to get out of the way probably before us Australians wake up anyway, which is fine by us. And yeah, I think let's go for the tips first there, Chucky boy.
Yeah, so I had a great week last week, Blaze.
Yep.
Picked the upset there with Washington. Got lucky there. Anyway, so I picked 12 out of, I think it was 14 or 15.
Yep.
15 last week. I think there was only 2 teams with a bye. So 12 out of 15 there. That's pretty good shooting.
That's good shooting.
Michael
Schnars had...
Diamond-esque.
That's a good clip.
Your mate. Schnars had 11...
I'm sure he's in jail. So he's...
Yep, exactly my point. And Blaze, everywhere he went out on a limb last week, didn't help.
Some would say normality restored itself.
Yeah, it went back a little bit
Some
normal.
would say that. Others would dispute that and say that they got unlucky.
Fantastic.
A fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, that actually works.
Okay, yeah.
But you'd be a fantastic tipper if we didn't do the podcast at all.
Yeah, well, I was pretty good off air.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it's the pressure
when you were tipping after the games were done. You were fantastic. So much better.
You know full well that wasn't me that was actually.
The only thing I've seen here is Kirk Cousins himself. He's hitting the bright lights. He's got to the top, and the first time he's ever been top, and I'll go back through the archives. He's never been top before. He gets the bright lights and the attention, and he crumbles. He's gone from first to last.
You're probably bang on, Schnarzy.
A week's a long time in football. We've said it before.
Constantly, that theme rings true, but like 1 week in football is a long time, the break between games is a short one. And I have every chance to bounce back here. Me and Schnarzy trailing Chucky Boy by, what is it, 2
104
at
to
the
102.
moment. So you're obviously get a chance every week, and we look forward to bringing you the results of that in the coming days. So like I said off the top, Chicago and Detroit are the first matchup here. The two boys, left and right, and are taking Chicago. And then I'm going to get on Detroit for their first win of the year.
Wrong.
Wow.
So
I don't hate that.
What I'm thinking here is Chicago obviously are a basket case, dumpster fire type situation. And as the seeming approaching end of Matt Nagy's tenure as the head coach there is approaching. Maybe Detroit sneak one here. I know they've got that extra game buffer now, so they can afford.
They can afford to win a game.
They can afford to win a game and not worry about giving up the number 1 pick. I think to say they're due would probably be an understatement in the sense they've been so unlucky along the road. And I don't trust Chicago any more than I do Detroit, really. So
good points. The only reason I'm probably going Chicago here is because they did okay against Baltimore and were leading most of that game.
Yeah.
Not that they say they were impressive.
Dalton came in and was all right as well.
Yeah. And that looks like that's who's going to be
they're sticking with Dalton this weekend. And he was all right last week, and that's really the basis of why I've gone Chicago.
Yep.
I think he probably wants to fight for his job, so he'll be really wanting to play
Red
well.
Rifle.
He just wants to play out the rest of the year, really. I think his ego would have been fairly bruised after he was given the shaft.
Yeah.
So.
And the old peaches, they bruise pretty heavy.
Absolutely.
He does corrugated boxes.
Yeah, you do indeed. But that's probably more than enough on that matchup. Like we mentioned, it's the early slate, so we'll get that one out of the way. Then we'll move into Las Vegas, going into Dallas. Now, Jerry's World has been okay for Dallas this year. They really need a win here, Chucky, to kind of reaffirm their claim on the NFC East, which has come under challenge a little bit in recent times.
You're darn right they do, Blaze. And I won't hear anything about who they didn't have last week, because who they didn't have last week, I don't care.
Yep.
CD Lamb went out at halftime. Like,
it's all hot win.
they had nothing at halftime.
It's all excuses.
Absolutely nothing. Cooper out's a bit, and
Yep.
then, but you know, you got to get the job done. And quite frankly, they were horrendous on offense.
They were.
So, and they've had two pretty bad efforts in 3 weeks, if you include the Denver game from a few weeks ago. So they really need to step it up here. And Las Vegas have sort of been
They've hit the skids hard.
imploding.
Yeah.
So
Vegas just don't, besides Darren Waller, they just don't have any receiving options besides Renfro
No.
on third down.
Yeah.
So you're literally getting a third down, passing a Hunter.
Renfro, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got Waller on every other target. So if you can shut Waller down, they're not going to be able to. Like, Josh Jacobs isn't running the ball great this year.
Yeah, he's been a fair bit more quiet this year, hasn't he?
So, and at the start of the year when Vegas was playing well, obviously they had Ruggs and they had more options in
Yep.
the receiving room, and they were on the back of Carr and his passing. That's how they were winning, not in their running game.
They
So
kind of need a bit more out of Aguilar now, don't they? I think that's probably one of the primary issues. Is it Aguilar that's down there?
no, he
I
went
don't
to
know
New
if
England.
I think
didn't
he's gone, yeah.
He's in New England.
He was
I
there
can't
last
remember
year.
who
Had a good
They've
year.
got a young fella who they tried to put in to play Ruggs' role, and he hasn't really been able
Yeah.
to fill into the shoes so far.
I think that their season is obviously marked with controversy and turmoil. So you can understand a bit of inconsistency, but they've been on a steady slide here for a little bit now.
Well, I mean,
Certainly-
you sort of forget that was it 4 weeks ago, John Gruden departed.
Yeah.
There's been so much happened since then that it's just been glossed over.
I think
Exactly.
it's Foster Moreau. I reckon that's the young fella.
yeah, that
There's nothing there.
does ring true.
He's going to get absolutely basted this
Kenyon
week.
Drake's there as well.
Yeah, there's
So-
the two back.
Mm.
So, it's tough times in Las Vegas at the moment. They do get a chance. I mean, Dallas are going to be coming in a bit undermanned, but you do think they probably have enough at home here to get the
At
job
home,
done,
100%.
which is what we are all in consensus of. And the third game...
Similar to the next game.
Yes, indeed. The Buffalo Bills are going into New Orleans. I missed out on a tip last week following New Orleans down a bit of a rabbit hole, and
Followed Trevor Simeon.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I said
just
that was
thought-
a bad idea.
Yeah, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, and you can sit in your high horse and
The
kind
Eagles-
of and say that.
But to
but-
be fair, I think a lot of that is the Eagles are a hell of a lot better than we actually thought they were.
Correct.
They are also very
And-
inconsistent still, though.
Yeah.
They are, but Jalen Hurts is probably better than what we gave him credit
Well,
for.
they're
as
running the ball now much more effectively.
They're actually running the ball.
Yeah,
They're,
well, exactly.
they're
They
using
started
Miles
right.
Sanders better.
Yeah.
They're using Boston Scott to a
Which is a
degree.
crazy
And
thought.
Jalen Hurts is using his feet as well.
Yep.
And then they've got the sumo wrestler from Australia out on the
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the tackle position, just absolutely suplexing people off the
Yeah,
top rope.
absolutely.
And I love it.
It's all happening down in Philly land. We will
Bear
get
in mind
to them
though,
shortly.
Buffalo couldn't have been much worse last week.
No, they had a really tough day. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor.
I did say
You did mention.
I
I
did say
gave
they
you
were
your props
in-
on the socials, mate.
they
I
were
did.
in trouble in the
He
run.
was hanging out
Yeah.
with Ferris.
Mm.
He was out on Ferris Bueller and Jonathan Taylor's day out because that was a serious game for him. We'll get to the Colts. They've got a pretty interesting matchup this weekend. However,
Buffalo have been disappointing.
they have been
They have,
disappointed.
yeah.
And they really need to correct the ship here. They need to go
Because
into
they
the
started the
Saints.
season so hot.
Yeah, they did.
Minor the Pittsburgh game, but after that they
Was
were
it 3
lights
weeks
out.
ago they lost to Jacksonville? 6-9 or
Yeah,
whatever?
three,
it was?
two or
would be.
three. Yeah,
But the big question here for
3 games ago. Yeah.
I might chuck
Yeah.
this to Schnazi actually is obviously the Bills have now slipped to second in that division.
I know,
With
New
the-
England.
with the Patriots going
They
along
got a
really well.
game in hand.
Game in hand, of course, but that's how it stands at present. And I think Buffalo, they really need this aggressive road game to come in. They need to chalk it up in the win column and
They need to
move
pull
on.
their finger out.
They do.
They need to get moving because it was just a foregone conclusion in the preseason,
Yep.
weeks 1 through to about 5.
Yep.
Now, 7 weeks later, we're looking at this going, geez, New England under Mac Jones look great. Bill Belichick's a mastermind again. And Buffalo have probably bought into their hype
Their
again.
own hype a little bit.
So they got to pull their finger out. They got to stop basing their turkey. And they've got to go into New Orleans down Bourbon Road
God,
and
yeah.
absolutely smoke.
It's got to be a start.
Trevor
I think
Siemian.
a lot of us think it needs to be a bit of a statement win against
It
Trevor
does.
Siemian and this side, who is sputtering along. And that New Orleans are inconsistent. That's okay. I guess that's where they're kind of at the moment since Jameis is gone, which
And
was probably
I think
Fact
Buffalo
anyway.
as well their defense will take a lot of hurt in last week because in the
It was
games they've
embarrassing.
been underperforming. It's been their offense that's been underperforming. So I reckon their defense will come out and look for New Orleans to score less than 15 points this week.
They are really struggling against the run, though.
They are.
They cannot stop anyone on the run.
yeah.
And that was made very evident last week.
And you're going into New Orleans with one Alvin Kamara, who is pretty handy in his own
Although
right. so-
he hurt himself last week.
Yeah, he's been kind of banged up most of the year. hasn't he?
Yeah,
Hasn't
and
been
would
the
you
same.
wanna
wanna
they signed Mark
with
Ingram
Trevor
again.
Siemian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And maybe he's making a smart business decision. Whoa. smart business decision.
Yeah.
And checking out a little bit. Pittsburgh Steelers next on the slate here. This will be Sunday football. Going into Cincinnati to play the Bengals, who, they're going okay in that kind of strong division there.
It's a weird division.
It is weird, but they're moving along. They're keeping themselves in the playoff hunt, which is the main thing here, and they're going to have to play a divisional rival, which is obviously going to have big connotations when it does come to the end of the regular season.
Look for Jamar Chase to try to do a bit as well. He's ever since we bought all of his stock at an unbelievably cheap price. Yep. He's drifted a little bit. Yeah, he has, but that's on the back of also New England and Mac playing well. But I'm looking for Jamar Chase to have a big one here.
I don't mind the offensive rookie of the year battle here between Jamar Chase and Najee Harris. I mean, obviously Creed Humphrey's not in this game.
There you go. But
Najee and...
Because I tell you what, he's a picture of consistency.
Yeah.
So...
he's rock solid.
No ups and downs there.
He's rock solid. But, that is an interesting little subline there. Joe Burrow having a pretty good return year here. And Big Ben continues to divide Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he divides them pretty quickly. Then Rudolph plays. And then they want Big Ben back.
Exactly. So,
they wanted him back yesterday when they saw.
Yeah, they're a tad too loyal to their players sometimes, Pittsburgh, to a fault.
Potentially.
Maybe this is one I might be putting you on the spot here, Slammer.
Yeah.
About Juju. Is he injured?
Yeah, he's done. ACL done for the year.
Jeez. That hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt.
Because Calais Chapel's become their number one.
They were bat pretty deep at receiver, and if they had Juju as well, it would help out, especially now with Najee being a bit of a receiving back threat as well. So
definitely.
That one's going to hurt. But Deontay Johnson is pretty handy down there. Yeah. James Washington's not that bad either. So
I don't understand Pittsburgh. I really they're a great franchise. They've been a great franchise for a long time, but I don't understand what they're doing this year.
Yeah.
They're not making the playoffs this year, let's be honest. They're not good enough to.
Are you calling for a tank and a hide?
But
there's no quarterbacks.
I know there's no quarterbacks, but you know what Big Ben is, and you know how old he is. So there's no point. You know what it is. Move on.
You know he's not winning a Super Bowl.
He's not taking you to the next Super Bowl, so move on.
I pose you this. Are they trying to look attractive to a free agent quarterback?
Well, I said a long time ago that I think Aaron Rodgers could potentially end up there next year.
Yep.
That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But
with performances like this, though, it will deter a big-name free agent from going there.
Absolutely. But I think, while you've got half a season, why are we putting up with watching this for half a year when we know he's gone? He's dead and buried. Give Rudolph or somebody the next 8 games to see,
Haskins?
Give them a little... Yeah, Haskins. I don't care who it is, as long as it's not Big Ben. Give somebody 8 games and find out whether he's your guy or he's not.
I'm pretty confident that Rudolph's not the guy, so don't even try him.
I know, but...
You might as well get Duck Hodges back.
But there's no point trying to limp to, 9-8 or whatever they're
limp to mediocrity.
I think what Schnazzy's suggesting is probably right. It's probably a marketing ploy in some respects to be like, hey, we're not that far off. If you come here, you can push us over.
If we get to 9 wins, you give us an extra 3 next year, then hey, we're 3 and 4.
I know, but I don't think that would deter. I don't think that would deter Aaron Rodgers. To be fair, I think if they finished with a horrendous record, he'd rather go there and be like, look at how good I am. I've turned this team from this into this.
It's not a terrible theory, Chuck.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a couple
slate next year too.
Yeah, there's a couple of good theories flying around with the old Pittsburgh Steelers there.
There's nothing good that can come out of them winning games.
Yeah.
Speaking of the next game, nothing good flying around there.
No, well, it's good if you're a Houston fan after a huge upset against Tennessee. Obviously, Tennessee depleted.
Did not call that one.
And in the pouring rain.
But you know what happened? Mate, Davis Mills. Yeah. He's no longer starting.
No. Yeah.
Tyrod's
back. So we lost Mike White. And
you reckon Davis has been on the phone to the Chargers medicos?
Yeah.
And going, mate, just that rib.
Just give it a little
give
it a little love tap with a little syringe or something.
Absolutely baste it, mate.
Just baste it. Hey, 2 weeks ago we could have had Mike White versus Davis Mills. Now we're going to get Joe Flacco versus Tyrone Taylor.
It's a weird way it works, Blaze, but I'm not that mad about
it. It's like a time machine in some respects. But it's 3 Houston Texans here, but we will...
Which is just a weird sentence to say.
It's going to put Houston up to 3 wins after arguably one of the worst stretches in football out of any team this season.
They are battling, though.
Yeah.
They are battling, and they're giving effort.
They're basting.
Yeah.
Well, they've got
players out there who are trying to play for contracts too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But they're doing far better than what I thought they would.
Put it this way, though. If the Jets were to win here, you wouldn't see any of us bat an eyelid of losing a tip.
No, but I'd be surprised.
Moving on, aforementioned pretty interesting matchup, one of the better ones on the slate here. Tampa Bay going into Indy, who are obviously up and about a little bit with Jonathan Taylor on the back of that huge 5-touchdown performance. Tampa Bay potentially recapturing form, but probably in the same sense that Kansas City did with their bashing of the Raiders. They put the Giants away, but they do need Tampa Bay, that is, a good scalp here against Indy.
To win this game, they just have to stop the run, and that's what it's going to come down to. They couldn't. So this, where they lost to Washington the week prior in week 10, was because they couldn't get the ball back. Mm-hmm. They just couldn't. So they have to stop the run.
Yeah.
On third down defense, they've got to be strong there. They can't just sit back in coverage. But speaking of Tampa's defense, they are starting to get some of those players back that were injured at the start of the year.
The main one that comes
Their
to mind.
secondary is the biggest concern.
Yeah, it is. They got Murphy Bunting back into that secondary recently, but the main one for me that I caught on the airwaves as a do with our boy Shannon Sharp, he dropped in there that Vita Vea, who was potentially out for the year, is due to come back this week.
He was warming up before last week's game.
So in terms of a run defender, there's probably not many getting around better than him. He's obviously a mountain of a man, so that'll help. But as you say, quite rightly, that is the key to stopping the Colts in general.
On offense as well, they brought back Gronk last week, who was huge.
Massive.
Yeah,
Their offense looked completely different.
Yep.
And then when they bring back AB, who's not too far away from my understanding.
Well, it depends.
They haven't lost a game with AB this season.
Yeah, but it depends whether they find out whether AB's actually been vaccinated or not.
Yes.
So they've had that completely clarified yet, because there was that rumour swirling around that he might have had a fake vaccination
That
card.
his chef was just throwing him out.
Yeah, his chef threw him under the bus there.
I don't
Anyway,
know what's
I'm
on
going
over
Indy here.
Yeah.
Big part of that is, so the Bucks are 5-0 at home. The Bucks are really good at home.
Yeah.
Which I think as well last year that hurts players is that they got to play the Super Bowl at home.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the point here is they're 2-3 away from home.
Mm-hmm.
They currently have a sub 500 record away from home. The Colts is an indoor stadium, which probably plays into Brady with an older arm. But I don't know. I like the Colts here. And to be honest, right now, I think the Colts are probably the second best team in the AFC.
You've heard it here, folks.
Right now, they are playing some scary football. They didn't start the season overly well, if you remember.
But they're on a roll.
They are seriously on a roll. They have turned things around
They
drastically.
figured it out. Get the ball out of Carson Wentz's hand and put it in Jonathan Taylor's, and bang, you win.
It's
Absolutely.
not a bad equation. You got the most recent fixtures for me, Chucky?
I do, Blaze. So they were 0-3, Blaze,
Yep.
and they are now 6-5.
They should have all
6 and
beat
5,
Baltimore
I
in one
think.
of those games that they were
And
up big.
that's exactly right. They should have beaten Baltimore, but they've
I think they lost 2 games in overtime in that stretch too.
they've lost to the Titans in overtime 3 weeks ago, but they've won 4 of their last 5 and lost, and they've won 4 of their last 6, and both of those they lost in overtime.
Yeah.
So
And one of which should have been over anyway when Blankenship missed that chip shot field goal to beat the
Yeah,
Raiders.
well, that was a weird day.
That's exactly
It's a
right.
strange
That was a
day.
weird
But
day.
yeah, so what I'm saying is they're red hot at the moment.
Yeah, they're up and about.
And
Mate,
they are like,
You're taking an informed team at home. You don't need to justify it.
Yeah.
No, we'll take it. Me and
But
Schnazzy
we'll
boy
fade it.
will be over on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers basting our turkeys.
that's
and
fine.
hoping
That's
that
why
we
I'm
can
leading
come-
the tips.
Hoping we can come up
But
clutch
moving into
there.
the next game, I am not with you.
No, I'm out on a limb here. I'm going to take the Falcons and
Just
yeah, with me.
scoreless.
Atlanta.
Last week they were
Yeah,
scoreless.
they had a real dirty day. But I'd like to think that getting embarrassed like that by the New England Patriots, they'll like to rectify that as quickly as possible.
They do get a longer break.
They get an opportunity here against Jacksonville, who obviously a young team on the up and up. Trevor Lawrence doing his darndest to make that franchise better / relevant. But I think there's not heaps in this matchup, but I think Atlanta are at least a smoky chance here for
I
me
was
to
harsh
catch
on you
up.
at the start. This is
Yeah.
a coin flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
100% a coin flip.
Yeah.
You don't know what Atlanta side you're going to get, and you don't know if the offensive line is going to rock up for Jacksonville.
Yep.
And we know they don't have any receivers,
Yeah.
so
It's going to be
100% a
interesting.
coin flip.
I mean, I tend to err on the side of picking the better quarterback in these kind of 50-50s.
Yeah, that's why I went Jacksonville.
I haven't here, yeah. But I do think I have a bit more faith in Atlanta on the whole at the moment, even without Calvin Ridley.
This is a
over
hard one to
Jacksonville.
pick. If Calvin Ridley was playing, I'd be tipping Atlanta,
Yeah.
no doubt. What do you do with Matty Ice?
I don't think you can do
He
anything
seems
from
to
here.
be falling apart.
Yeah, he's losing the plot, but you don't have anything else to turn to at the moment. You got to think long term.
Oh, is it Josh Rosen ain't it?
Well, you
What
saw
do you
it.
mean? My boy Josh Rosen.
You saw full well he's not it.
There was 5 mistakes in front of him.
I mean, the bloke that came in after him didn't go any better.
There's not a lot of help there.
The bloke that came in as the
No,
third
he was
stringer after
worse.
that, he was worse. But
He was at my Dolphins.
yeah, you love Joshy Rosen. Joshy Rosen has been a boy. of
I
yours for
still
a while.
believe in him. I still believe in him. It might be blind faith.
that bloke, that wouldn't upset me either if Atlanta went, you know what,
Let's
Matt's
just-
no good. Give this guy the last half of the season. He's never had a shot.
That's
He's
been
been
his whole
bounced
problem.
around all over the place.
So when he
after being a
started,
top 10 pick.
he was at the Dolphins, right?
No, we got drafted by the Cards.
Cards, yeah.
Cards, and then they got Kyler
And they-
Murray the next season.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
traded him to the Dolphins.
Yeah, and then
Then he
he was
went to
competing against
Pittsburgh.
No, then he was competing against Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And then it just
Didn't get the job.
No.
Then he went to Pittsburgh. He's been a lot of places now.
This is his fourth side, I believe.
At
Fourth
least.
or fifth.
But, 5 mistakes in front of him. Now 5 teams made a mistake 2 again. So he's got 10 mistakes he's got to amend for or make amends for.
I mean, you make a great case for Josh Rosen.
Atlanta, he's your man.
On a hill that not many people would choose to die on. I'm out on a limb again here. This one's going to be a bit tougher to justify. The Carolina Panthers, who haven't been going great guns.
The Panthers?
The Panthers, indeed, against the Miami Dolphins, who have hit a vein of form that will make you very happy, Chucky.
Bloody oath, Blaze. Now, I've got a stat for you. Let me just read something off for you, right? Don't look at it.
Lay it on me.
But I'll read it out to
Lay
you.
it on me, and
right.
Schnell.
I'm going to read
this with us.
I'm going to read 2 quarterbacks over their first 9 games, right? 10-7
in career.
Yeah, in career. 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions to 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. 5-4 record to a 6-3 record. 68% completion to 64% completion. 2,100 yards to 1,800 yards. 1 game-winning drive, 2 game-winning drives. Second best defense, 5th best defense. Neither of them sound that bad.
No, passable.
First one was Mac Jones. Second one was Tua. Has the bloke been just not given a chance for no reason at all?
Well, when you put it like that, it's
because
hard.
they are raving about how good Mac Jones is,
Well,
and this bloke cannot get us
Has
cannot
Tua
get a
done
clear run
anything
at it.
to impress you, though?
Yes.
Yeah, but he also doesn't have the best coach maybe in the history of football.
It feels like an eye test to me.
I don't know. I've liked what I've seen the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's come on, but he could get hit again next week,
I
and
just
then he
don't
could be fake
understand-
injured for 3 weeks.
And you got to think too, a part of that, I would suppose, would be Tua's stop-starting nature of getting through those first 9 games as well.
I just don't
Like
understand.
Mac Jones has just started and he's done his block of
I
9.
think the biggest thing that I take away from Mac Jones is Bill Belichick's had the confidence in the preseason to get rid of Cam and say he's our man.
Yeah.
You would not be able to do that with Tua.
That's the thing. The bloke's never had any confidence put in him.
Oh, I mean, he was at Alabama, the best program going around.
At the NFL level, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
I reckon he's just had a. I don't think he's just had a really tough go of it, and they took him high, and I don't think they're giving him due respect.
I don't think anyone at this desk has ever tried to retire Tua from the Miami Dolphins.
but
the,
there's so many trade rumors.
The outside pressure on Tua has been
What I
intense.
think it is, what my perception is based on the fact that he hasn't consistently been starting as well. So he's been healthy but not starting. So it's skewed by the fact that the coaches don't even have faith in him.
That's
so how can I show
definitely
faith?
what it is. But I feel like there's been way too much unnecessary media scrutiny on a bloke who has
him a
not
call.
played that bad.
Just give him a call and tell him.
I would, mate. I hope he's listening. I've got faith in you, mate.
Drop a
I don't reckon it helps either that he's left-handed.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't reckon it helps. No. I reckon it puts people off and it makes them immediately.
Well, I said the eye test. Maybe it is.
Yeah,
just as
I reckon
simple
that
as something
seriously
like
has
that.
something to do with it.
Because then they've just got an average right tackle who no one normally cares about.
Yeah,
That's his
exactly.
blindside.
Whereas that's his most important position.
True.
But to be fair, it should mean that you could pay less for a really good right, because right tackle is worth less than a left tackle, whereas right tackle is the position you need more than a left tackle.
Yeah.
Could actually help you have a cheaper offensive line.
Maybe we should call the front office too while we're at it.
Yeah, I think there's obviously opportunity there to consider some list management
Anyone want
type.
to go and live in Miami?
Oh, well, I can think of
I'd take it over to Detroit.
probably no worse places.
So, just in case we haven't made it clear, you're taking Carolina.
I'm on Carolina.
We're
Yeah.
both taking Miami under their recent resurgence under Tua.
I'm just hoping that Run CMC can snap that. He's been going okay since he's come back. Cam Newton didn't show heaps last week. However, I just think Miami, that inconsistency,
I
all
can
the
see
questions
Slam
around
losing
him.
it over there.
Yeah.
And he's losing it over the next game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
no, I've worked it out.
I mean, he's nailed an absolutely perfect segue, and he hasn't had to announce it, which is fantastic. The New England Patriots are next on the list. They're going to host the Tennessee Titans, fresh off a big upset against the Houston Texans. So, Mac Daddy Jones.
What a segue.
Boy.
Mac Daddy Jones.
I've been hot on Mac. I was hot. Besides Trevor,
Yeah.
he was my next pick. And I said he's landed in the perfect situation in preseason.
Yeah.
You can run the tape.
To be
and
fair,
check
we
it.
had no time for Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, we knew he was going into a terrible situation. Hey, New England, as much as everyone's talking about Mac Jones, that running game has been sneaky decent recently with the young rookie Stevenson, Damian Harris, and a veteran Brian Bolden have been averaging over 150 rush yards for the last 4 games. So that's not a bad little tote for them.
Plus their
I
defense
don't
as
love
well.
New England.
Yeah, I know you don't love New England.
You know,
You gotta respect
It's more
the
that
facts.
no, but the thing I have, I feel like they're getting just beefed up in the media, and I don't reckon they're as good as they're getting talked up to be.
Yeah.
I'm not buying.
I mean, this will be a good.
I'm not buying it at the moment.
This will be a good flavour test anyway. The Tennessee Titans.
I think without Derrick Henry.
Yeah, without
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
I've lost a lot of... I
I reckon I'll change my tip here.
No.
It's on the board.
It's on the
Reckon I'll
board.
I'm going to change it.
Oh, all right. Just go get a tattoo and ask the artist when he's done. Yeah, just change that,
just
mate.
mix that one up for me, brother.
Luckily, we do these in whiteboard markers, so that's okay.
No, that's
That's
etched into stone.
Etched in stone. I can't be having you just flip-flop around all over the shop.
I've pitched the wrong one, so I'm going to change. Anyway, I'm going to take New England as well.
Wrong. He's saying you picked incorrectly.
That remains to be seen. So, obviously, everyone's faith is diminished in Tennessee.
It's like
entirely.
speeding and then just saying, sorry, officer, I won't do it next time. Don't find me.
That's nothing like
Let
that.
me change
You're an idiot.
let me change my speedometer.
It's like going to the bar, ordering a beer, realizing when you get to the last bit and you've only got the dregs left that you didn't like it and you didn't order it, so you want a different beer.
Yep. Or it's like putting your
Shut up.
turkey in the oven without basting it first.
All right.
And then being
You
like,
have to think about basting
I'll
before
baste
you
it.
even buy.
I'll baste it after I take it out of the oven. Is that a thing that people do? No. So you're not going to change your tip. It ain't happening.
You know what? Just change Thanksgiving while you're at it.
Yeah.
If I could change some of the games, I would.
It's not a bad call. We recently had all of our faith restored in the Philadelphia Eagles. Certainly enough to beat the New York Jets.
One
Giants.
sec. Do you need to change this one too?
No, that's okay. I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm not going to switch to the Giants.
Perfect.
Or the
Thanks.
Jets.
Thought I'd just get that in before places.
Oh, no. All good, man. Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing that little fact check. 'Cause apparently it's a free-for-all these days, like live on air.
You know what I want him to do?
Yeah.
He will not divide us.
You will not divide us, Sam. Me and Schnazi boy, we go way back to the People's Republic of Bangkok. So it's going to be hard for you. Philadelphia Eagles at New York Giants here. It's 3 Eagles from the boys in the booth. The Giants obviously showing who they truly are now as the season progresses. They are just absolute garbage. And Philly, surprising enough.
Yeah, I think the other thing here is what might actually help the Giants is that they got rid of the offensive coordinator. Jason Garrett.
Indeed. So his tenure was short-lived there. I saw the clip that
a season and a half too long.
Pretty much sent him packing out to the glue factory was when 2 receivers and a tight end ran to the same spot of grass on the same play and pretty much bundled the whole thing and said, "Yep, great play, mate."
Probably enough
Cheers.
about that
That's
game.
an interesting one. What was his thought process?
Oh, it looked to me like they were trying to set up some kind of screen. But
Hook and ladder, perhaps?
where it all came wrong
They were all
was
screening.
when they pretty much ran into each other and then all
Right,
the
they were
4
all
perimeter
blocking.
zone defenders just came in and I don't know.
Moving on.
It'd take a smarter mind than me.
Chargers and Denver.
Take a smarter mind than mine to unpack Jason Garrett's offense. So the Chargers into Denver is the next game here. It's 3 Chargers from the boys. Obviously a big AFC West divisional matchup here. The Chargers kind of coming back into form on the back of Justin Herbert playing exceptional and obviously Austin Eckler, who was unreal, playing that true receiving back role for them down there. They look really good, the Chargers, when they're on. Much like the Chiefs this year, that AFC West title is up for grabs still, but it's just a matter of finding that consistency when it counts.
Yep, exactly right. And probably enough said on that game. Denver, not much worth talking about there.
No.
They're kind of showing who they really are there, and they remain
Nobody.
5-5, but
They're a team that hasn't had a quarterback since Peyton left, and they've been no good since Peyton left.
yeah, it's probably fair.
Now, the second LA team also on the road this week, so far Stadium's grass.
Yeah.
We're getting a bit of TLC.
Yeah, which is always good for the the grass over in sunny Las Vegas.
For all you lawn enthusiasts.
Los Angeles,
Indeed.
but close.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Got my wires crossed there. The LA Rams going into a place that's a long way from Las Vegas or Los Angeles. Lambeau Field.
And a hell of a lot colder.
A lot colder. Going to be an interesting matchup here, boys. Green Bay Packers.
Odell Beckham.
Yes.
He's had some training this week.
I got to know your thoughts here. You've tipped the Rams.
Yeah.
Why? After what you saw 2 weeks ago against the Niners.
Yeah, they've had the bye. They had the week to sort it out.
That's it?
Yeah, they had the week to sort it out. They had the
Okay.
bye. They've got to start winning games because they're all in. Like they're in Las Vegas, as Blaze quite rightly pointed out, and all their chips are pushed into the middle of the table. This is their year.
They've given it, That's not a bad
They
name.
They
have
have
to
put
turn
all
it
their
around.
chips in.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And now with Robert Woods going down, obviously the pressure on poor old Adele is really... Adele?
Odell.
Adele's new album.
He's just
Odell.
standing over there on the other side of the field. Or you get into that.
Hello
He's still
from the
got-
other
That's when he
side.
goes back to
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah. He's got Cooper Kupp. He's got Odell.
Yeah.
He's still got receivers. He's got Tyler Higbee.
Yeah.
Great tight end. I don't think there's any problems there. I think from what it looks like, we're seeing a little bit of Detroit rubbing off.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, you think he bought too much
Because
Detroit with him?
Stafford did, yes,
Yeah.
because he was high on a lot of passes in that loss to San Francisco. On the other hand, Green Bay, we know what they're going to do. They're pretty bloody consistent.
They'll be well drilled, well planned. Rodgers won't put the ball in harm's way. It's going to be big for them if they can get Aaron Jones back. However,
Yes.
didn't play on the weekend. He's a big key in these marquee kind of matchups.
You will also have Jalen Ramsey going against one Devontae Adams.
If he plays, he's got a sore ankle and he was limited in practice on Wednesday. But
Is that Ramsey or Adams?
Adams.
Adams.
So what
Because
I
that
was
takes
gonna
away
say
a lot
is
of offense.
a lot of these players that I'm about to name have been injured for the Green Bay for a while, and they are 8-2.
Yeah.
8-2.
Yep.
I can't think of a team that could be doing this well
And they
and
lost
have
one with Jordan Love starting.
and have this many players out. Like, they've got Devontae Adams out. Bakhtiari's been out for quite a while. Gary's out. Aaron Jones is out.
hold on,
Alan
hold-
Lazard, Aaron Rodgers, and Jair Alexander, who's like one of the best cornerbacks in the game. I think he's either going to play this week or he played last week.
Some of those names you did mention have played a lot of games this year.
Not a lot of games. this
they've
year.
been in.
Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams.
Well,
have
sorry,
played a
Aaron
lot.
Rodgers, but
The two most important players on the team.
They've
right?
been in.
yeah,
They've been
but
in
a
and
lot of the
out.
others haven't played it. David Bakhtiari, I'm not sure. Has he even played it
I
all?
don't think he's had a
So he
snap.
hasn't played it all. And like,
He's still watching the Bucks
and
chugging
Jair
beers.
Alexander hasn't played in a long time.
No.
Like, they've been missing a lot of their top 10% best players.
Yep.
Like, and they're still absolutely crushing it.
Schnazzy quite rightly said just in my ear before, pretty much, that one of those losses was obviously to the Chiefs with Jordan Love under center.
Yeah.
And the other one is the first game of the year, which a lot of people are now writing off as a blip anyway.
Yeah, week one, mate.
So, all those things considered, they're going along great guns. And, we'll be taking Green Bay. Me and
Like,
Johnny
quite
boy.
frankly, they shouldn't have gotten that close to Minnesota last week,
No.
really, that we should have seen in hindsight. And to be fair, they had an interception late. I don't know if you've seen the end of this game.
Yeah.
So anyway, they had an interception late where they intercepted Kirk Cousins with a minute to go, and the ball just nicked the ground and but his arms were still over
Yeah,
it,
it
but
was
the
kind
top
of
of it sort of
grass,
nicked it, and they overturned it later. And it was very 50-50.
Was
But
they,
if they leave that, he goes down and kicks a field goal as time expires, and they win.
So Minnesota were up by 2 touchdowns going into the fourth. And as a stat about Minnesota this year, they have led in every single game during the fourth quarter this year at some
Really?
point. Yep. And they have a record of what are they? 5 and 5?
Give me 2 seconds.
Be around.
They
6 and
are
5?
5 and
6?
5.
5 and 5.
They have 5 and 5, and they were
They
3
have-
and 5 before.
They have led in every single game in the fourth quarter.
Well, I heard something about them today as well. That is, every single one of their games has been decided by 8 points or less.
Because
And I
they've
think
led in the last quarter.
all of their losses combined is 18 points, I think.
What time are they playing?
That's an early one, I reckon.
That slot would be... That'd be
Oh,
like
no, hang on,
the-
we're not even talking about Minnesota.
That'd be like the
We're on Green Bay.
mid-afternoon.
Minnesota might have a bye.
Oh, sorry, we're moving into the next game.
We are. Minnesota.
Perfect segue.
Oh, there we go.
Minnesota at San Francisco. God, we're on
you're
tonight
not
with
supposed
that,
to
boys.
announce it, man. Everybody's told you. No, it's a bit more well, so it's on the
It's
it's
like
on
the
the west.
latest,
It's on the
yeah.
west coast, so there's only 3 games live at that time. So you will have more of the country watching him, so that could be an issue.
I mean, you
That's
gotta monitor that.
Oh, don't even think about it.
So I've got San Francisco here at home hosting the aforementioned Minnesota Vikings, who are going along well. They obviously just beat Green Bay last week.
What did you write down before Min?
Yeah, it's been rubbed out. What's
I
going
wrote
on there?
Min, but I thought I had the home and away around the wrong way.
Okay. Yeah, it all checks out. It just doesn't look great.
This is both.
You know what this
both
does? He just likes changing things on the board.
He does.
Both of
Yeah,
these
it's his
games are NFC North against NFC West.
Yeah,
Last 2.
that would make you happy.
Yeah, it's
That
a bit
kind
of
of
nice
thing
synergy. I like
does
that.
work.
Is it
know
1 and 2
me-
against 1 and 2? No,
You
it's
know
not.
me, I love the San Francisco 49ers when they've got Deebo Samuel and
You do love Deebo
George,
Samuel.
and George Kittle running around in the same outfit. I do like them just to get the job done here against Minnesota. As we quite rightly mentioned, all their wins have been close, all their losses have been close. I just fancy San Francisco at home to get the job done in front of their crowd.
Do you remember week 1 when Minnesota played that game with Arizona, where they got their kicker missed the field goal as time expired?
Was that
with
week 1?
25. I reckon it was week 1.
I think it was week 1.
Debatable, but yes, I do remember.
Yeah, funny, isn't it? They've actually lost quite a few. No, sorry. I think, did Minnesota lose to Cincinnati in overtime in week 1?
I reckon that's it.
I reckon they did.
Yeah.
They've had quite a few overtime games this
That's what
year.
I'm saying.
then.
They've led in every single fourth quarter.
That is a crazy stat. That
know.
really is.
For the record,
And
5 and 5.
And quite frankly, they look like nicely placed to make the playoffs now at 5 and 5. Because there's not a lot of
Do not
great.
forget though, it is Minnesota.
There's not a lot of great teams kicking around outside of division leaders at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not a bad point at all, really.
Other than the Rams.
That doesn't bother Kirk, though.
No team sitting second in any division other than the Rams is above 500.
Yeah, and where there's a will,
They're
there's a
just
way, and Kirk will find it, hopefully.
I don't know. I don't mind them.
To either lead them back to the playoffs or crash and burn, as we probably expect.
I don't mind them at the moment.
Yeah,
they look all right. Remember the
handy.
other year when they went into New Orleans and had that massive upset in the
Diggs.
postseason?
Diggs match.
Yeah, so I don't mind it. I reckon they're going to sneak in.
You
Could
give
do
them a
some
sneaky
damage.
chance.
As long as that game's not prime time.
Yeah, so I'm taking San Francisco. The boys are taking Minnesota. So
Which
probably,
means throw out whatever Blow said.
yeah, get your money on Minnesota there. 3 Baltimore Ravens in the next matchup as they host the Cleveland Browns, who have just kind of lost a lot of the faith that this desk had.
I think
in them.
my faith has been lost by every single
I
time
didn't
Baker
have a lot.
Mayfield
I didn't
misses
have
a
a lot.
pass.
Yeah,
Slam it straight on the old phone.
yeah,
See that from Baker? See that from Baker? He has a hit list, and Baker is number
he's
one.
got to be number 1. Yep, and
Colin Cowherd.
I think
Lead the charge.
it's kind of evident.
Who was the Chargers coach who got sacked last year?
Anthony Lynn.
Because it was Anthony Lynn, and then it was Baker, and we put so much focus on Anthony Lynn.
He copped so much heat that we eventually got rid of him, obviously courtesy of the Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan
So
Show
based on
and Jersey
history-
Cartel.
Good, because I've been trying to do this for a while.
You want to get rid of Baker Mayfield?
I do.
Do you want to put them? I think Baker
I've
Mayfield
said
would
I've
probably
said
be
on this
gone.
show a long time ago that I think he's arguably the worst quarterback in this division
Yeah.
and just can't play. And I don't think they're that much worse off for just having Case Keenum.
He's definitely, at this stage, the most average, that's for sure.
And he's the most arrogant, Blaze.
Yeah.
He went after the fans last week.
Yeah, he did.
In the press conference.
Which is never a smart
Which is
move.
a really dumb thing to do in Cleveland.
That's why I'm kind of, I want to hitch
And they're
our
booing
wagon.
him off the field.
I want to hitch,
They're not good.
Progressive have pulled the ads.
not yet. I want to hitch our wagon to the Baker out movement early here because I do think as soon as you start blaming the fans and saying you don't care if they boo you or whatever.
Yeah,
I think
what was his point? Did they talk when they're on offense, so he
yeah.
doesn't care what they think?
Yeah.
Mate, that's a really wrong thing to say in Cleveland.
Yeah, so it's not a smart move. I think there's
Probably
probably...
just be happy they got fans there.
I'm also really ticked off, Blaze, because you know how I did my divisions bet where I tried to pick all 8 winners?
Did you pick
it was
the Browns?
worth $3K. Every single one of them right now is hitting except for that one.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
that
picked the
hurts.
Browns.
I
So
think
you're really just angry at yourself.
yeah.
No, I'm angry at him because he's a twat.
I'd like to bookmark this moment right now. I'm going to say Baker at Houston next year.
At Houston.
That's my guess.
I'd love that.
That's my guess.
Get him out of sight and out of mind.
Seattle at Washington is the last game.
What a crappy Monday night game.
Yeah, the Monday night matchup.
Actually, that's a bit rough. Washington have been good the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I meant Seattle.
They'll be a kind of a decent
I
watch
picked
at
Washington
least.
last week, not Seattle.
Ideally, Seattle rock up and at least make it a spectacle, but I think it's 3 Washington
First 3 game skid
football
of Russ's career.
indeed, and obviously playing with that
Is-
bung finger.
And 3-7 and sucking it up.
Yep,
Is the sun setting?
I think that might be.
I
early.
think the sun is setting on Pete Carroll before it sets on
yes,
Russell Wilson.
I think that's more.
Pete Carroll's
accurate.
70 years old. I was about to say it, but 70 years old.
Mm.
And seems to have these very... how
Dated.
should I put it? Yes, but like he doesn't last anywhere very long. He burns out. He's got a lot of energy
Been
and
in
he burns
Seattle a
places
long
out.
time.
Yeah, and he burnt out at Stanford. He burnt out at
USC.
USC. Yes. So he's been a few places, and once he's there for a while, they get rid of him.
It does
Burns
strike
players
me.
out, and he seems to let players run the team.
I think he's.
They don't see them like an inspired lineup, do they?
No, they
He
don't.
doesn't seem like a disciplinary either. It seems to be happy-go-lucky.
It's
I
kind of
think he's
Russell's
got like
show.
an inner sanctum who are the good players, and everyone else is on the outer, and they're trying to break into it, and that's the mantra.
It's not a
he
bad
runs.
read, probably.
I don't vibe him.
It
I don't
don't-
like Seattle very
You don't
much,
like
to be honest.
at the moment. I think the key takeaway is you don't like watching them, and it comes across on the screen like they're not really enjoying
Well,
it. They're not having a great
My
time.
thing, Blaze, is how poorly could Seattle be looking back on this in 10, 15 years' time is if they let Russ go, because he seems to be, I think he's a bit annoyed with them at the moment.
Yeah.
He's had enough, I think. There's a bit of friction there.
Yeah,
If they let him go and keep the coach, they could rue this decision for a long
Yeah, gotcha.
time.
How old is Russ?
30 something?
yeah, it'd be
30,
barely 30,
30 early?
31,
30
he's gotta be
early.
older.
That's
maybe 33.
not
You wanna
great.
say 30, I guess?
32.
I was going to say
Oh,
30.
that's
Turning
right.
33 this year.
Right bang in the middle. But
Actually, happy birthday, Russell Wilson, for 4 days' time if you're listening.
wow, amazing. So there
What
you
a
go.
segue.
Congratulations,
Now-
Russ. Hope you're
Oh, we've just did our birthday party.
your absolutely your absolutely stunning wife gives you something remarkable.
God,
Happy
you've
birthday.
ended that well. Thank God.
We've covered
Did not. I thought it was going to be a
today's shows.
basting,
Yep.
Blaze. I thought you were going to go there.
Today's games.
Today's games.
Shout out to our boys,
The
Michigan.
Wolverines.
Oh,
Up to number 5 in the country. Thank you very much.
Michigan
The
Wolverines.
game this weekend against Ohio State.
Huge.
Win the game. Get into the playoff.
Lose the game, probably miss the playoff.
Definitely missed the playoff.
Well, there you go, folks.
Go Wolverines.
Go the Wolverines. Thank you again for joining us on Slim Sam and the Bandwagon Fan. As always, proudly brought to you by the Jersey Cartel on Facebook and JRV Electrical. Wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, all the good stuff. And obviously over on YouTube if you're watching us right now. Like, share, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff to help us out.
Base your turkey for Thanksgiving.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving to all our American viewers. I know there is a couple floating around. Chucky, please send us out for Thanksgiving, my friend.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, we haven't talked about the Chiefs because they got bye, Blaz.
Oh, yes.
So I'm a bit flat that we didn't get to talk about how friggin' fantastic it was to be back.
Yes.
We're back. We're officially back now.
What a great segue to ending the show.
I had to get it in. He's
back.
been Slim. I've been Slam. That's the Bandwagon Fan. The Chiefs are back. Go Wolverines.